that many bans. You can't take them all out of the way. So kind of what do you target? I mean, do you just have to take Corki away from Pobelta now? Is it too many games where he's looked so good?
I mean, a little bit, or you have to just take some of the CC around from the setup roles for Immortals, because what Immortals is doing is they're picking setup in 4 positions and then letting Pobelta do all the damage on Corki. So one of the two has to be taken away, or you just have to be able to shut down the Corki.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Aurelion soul banned for IMT. Cho'Gath going to join the list on the blue side. And there's Caitlyn banned on the CLG side along with Zach. We'll see where Maokai falls into the order of things. Certainly not on Immortals to take it away.
Yeah.
Imagine CLG will ban it on red side, but we will have to see.
They could dare them to go for it. I mean, I've seen Immortals ban Cho'Gath and Maokai on blue side. They did it yesterday in their series just because they're not theoretically used to playing it, but it hasn't cost them yet, hasn't cost them any matches because they're comfortable saying what they are and aren't comfortable with and playing around that.
There's Elise,
ban, though.
And there is a Maokai for CLG, so Immortals kind of picking up a ban there in some senses. As first pick Thresh over to Ole. This is the champion that it's hard to say exactly where it fits into the priority list. Still a very good support, arguably still the best support. But
I mean, it's also a champion Ole took to a 70% win rate to rank 1 on the solo queue ladder. It's his bread and butter.
Well, there's Kalista ban, picked up, sorry, for CLG, and oh my god, it's going to get Gragas most likely taken as a flex, of course, but I think more often seen in the jungle.
Yeah, I think so. Omar God could very well play that Gragas, but Immortals are going to be getting very similar things to what they had last game. They could easily pick the Jarvan here if they want to. They could also pick the Corki here if they want to and maintain a lot of that flexibility and similar style team compositions that have been working for them.
Yeah, it feels like they kind of got it all already. Jarvan pretty safe, either into the Gragas or as a blind pick, which is kind of what I expected to be here. I think big question for Immortals is, do they want to pick mid lane now and potentially run Pobelta into some counter matchups? Or do they want to flash Ivern randomly? Or take Jhin, which I think is what they're going to do.
Yeah, the Ivern flash.
And there's a Blitzcrank.
Woo, instant blitz. So that's the thing you want to combo with the Kalista. If it's not Thresh, it's the Blitzcrank. So CLG trying to go in with that bottom lane, but they're up against a formidable duo in the Thresh and the Jhin. Technically, both teams have solo lanes to show. If we are to think that Xmithy will go jungle Jarvan, he still can. If they don't throw jungle bans at him, though, he can still go any of the other junglers he's been fairly used to.
Yeah, I do keep forgetting that Xmithy is actually one of the players, apart from Moon, that's willing to play in the jungle. Of course, did it last game, so my brain, thank you for helping me out there. But there's LeBlanc ban from Immortals. Cassidy already taken away. Kind of an interesting target ban there from CLG, but looks like mid lane's currently being targeted by both sides. Yeah,
you can see the LeBlanc ban. I think that's in part response to the Cassidy ban. Cassidy ban also could be something to ban against Corki. Because Cassidy's very good in the Corki, they're just going to do both of them. I thought maybe who he would try and control it, but when they're throwing this many bans at the mid lane, maybe who he's got that pocket pick Vel'Koz or something a little bit different. I do like the fact that they banned Corki.
I like it as well. I think, again, force Pobelta to play something else. They already have so much good setup that they showed from game 1, and there's a Gnar ban by Immortals.
Talia's still up, so I think that's the pick here for either mid laner. If you or CLG, you lock it in now and then wait until you know what your counter pick for the top lane would be. I think Syndra's also available. So when you see this many mid lane bans, you very rarely see Syndra still up.
There is Talia though, so we'll see if Immortals have a pick ready for it. Or if Pobelta wants to maybe play it more of a farm lane. Still plenty of picks you can kind of take here. Not too many champions really punish Talia that hard. Syndra would be one of them if Pobelta wanted to take it here. I think Lucian's the other one that springs to mind. Otherwise, you mostly just kind of relegated to farming, although of course Talia's big issue is that she has so much priority, and Renekton picked to flame, and there's Galio back for Pobelta.
Wow, so I thought maybe they'd go Renekton Syndra and just put CC in every position and try and burst out whoever's in the front line, but now, I mean, they're at risk of having extremely low damage. You got Renekton, Galio, solo lanes, and then the Lethality Jhin, but they're gonna really rely heavily on their setup, and that's why we're seeing a Fiora here. How would they flex these around? We have seen, so if Talia wasn't such a mid lane champion, we have seen who he's Fiora in the mid lane.
They have, and they're going to at least, you know.
They're going to at least tease it right here, because we know the Fiora is good against the Galio. It's just, can you Talia against a Renekton? Probably not. And Fiora in Renekton is actually a really hard matchup for Darshan. They just want it for late game team fights since they're up against a wall of tanks.
Yep, makes sense there, but could be tough to get Darshan to that spot. Of course, once Fiora scales up, pretty unstoppable in 1v1s, but of course can help in the team fights as well. I think IMT putting a lot of focus on really just doubling down on all the CC and picks they got in game number 1. I think their team fight was a bit more robust, with Pobelta having so much damage coming out of the Corki. This time, it'll be much more about roaming and CC pressure, but if Immortals can snowball, this game will get rapidly out of control.
Yeah, that's the thing when you're picking these super tank or super tanky team compositions. It's actually more like 3 bruisers that Immortals has. The Jarvan Galio synergy means when you're ahead, you can just dive to however you want because they're trapped in the Cataclysm for the heroic entrance.
I do like that. Flame, of course, is back on Renekton, but they've got Renekton and Jarvan, 2 of Flame bigger picks there. Both on the top side, just in case they need to flex them around. Definitely interesting to see again. All the teams have different priorities on the picks. I think CLG, again, showing us very much their style and preferences here in both the drafts we've seen in this series. But Jhin for Cody's son. Jhin has not been everybody's champion, and it's definitely fallen down in a lot of games, but he's fairly confident in it, at least in this next game as well. See if he runs into issues versus Omar in particular as he get onto the Rift for game number 2.
Yeah, Immortals looking to complete the season sweep over CLG. They beat them the first time they met. This would also give them sole control of first place as well as the tiebreaker over CLG. Would put them in amazing position with 2 weeks left in the split if they can close out this game.
Feels like it's been a little while, not too long, but a little while since Immortals was sitting atop the standings at the end of a split, but would be able to do it here, or at least get very close, taking a decisive victory here over CLG. CLG, of course, trying to make sure that doesn't happen, so we'll see what Omar can do as he's added to the roster here for this second game. Looks like right now Pobelta's just having a dance there in mid. And everyone's kind of spreading out, getting those wards going. Immortals, decent defensive vision, actually spotting Afro poking towards the Raptor camp, and a little bit of a group here for IMT. Cody and Ole going to move forward and maybe hope Stixay parts a silly way.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this bottom lane plays out, just because Cody's son and Ole have been so consistently good. Pretty much halfway through the spring split, they started to turn it on, and then this split, they've just been in full form. And when you have Ole on Thresh and Bard, I put as his top 2 champions. And then Cody's son's Jhin last game was just so good at sniping squishy targets in team fights.
Does feel like in general they're almost surprisingly aggressive as a duo. I mean, definitely made good work of the defensive Soraka Triss lane. Is Afro looking for a blind hook maybe? Does get a ward down, hooks on Ole, and might force a fight, but he plays back and then flashes who he's trying to steal there. The Raptors grabs 2 of them as IMT are actually leashing.
Yeah, a pretty slick hook there by Afro. Huhi getting the ward vision for Afro to land the hook, and Ole kind of forced to flash away. Immortals still able to pull off the super leash, so to speak, but still walking past the ward that was placed earlier by CLG. Not sure what he's going to hope to get done with that.
Another ward from CLG as well, just to make doubly sure, as Flame and Darshan doing battle, but Darshan trading pretty nicely. Even, I suppose, at level 1, but getting very aggressive on the Fiora as Omar already going to take down that red, but another level 2 gank incoming. 2 he's Talia. Gonna have to flash again.
Still find some effectiveness with that level 2 gank. Xmithie again taking the aggression away from Huhi, and then that's a nice play by Huhi actually to stick around a little bit and get harassed on Xmithie, but not much more they can do other than that.
Yep, Xmithie actually just gonna take the blue, so doesn't lose that much, given that he passed around to 2 different lanes before moving into this side of the jungle. Again, bottom lane helping out with those leashes is gonna make that a lot easier. So we'll see where Xmithie goes next, or if he just kind of falls back to that same farming pattern we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, Jarvan arguably one of the best level 2/level 3 gankers in the game, so you can see why Xmithie's paths haven't been so hard farm. He really wants to get his ganks out early on before he goes to farming, as long as Omar God isn't going to counter jungle him.
Great riposte there from Darshan. Going to save himself, in fact, maybe even turn it around. No help though, so 2v1 would be a little too miraculous at this stage of the game.
And we always have to come back to what is the cost of these early ganks. Because Omar God hasn't ganked yet. He's still clearing the jungle. And if Xmithie is able to go and still get his full clear without Omar getting any ganks off, then sure, the ganks didn't work, but there's still good ganks in that situation because there's not much CLG did to counter it.
He didn't need to commit too much either, as Omar will take his blue and maybe bop down here to the bottom lane. Yep, he's going to move in. Good ward from IMT. He's going to spot him, though. After we're going to try and line up a hook, but Ole defensive hook, I feel like, keeping him safe.
Yeah, so it's kind of the first gank attempt from Omar God. Not much he can do. He'll just continue closing out. Also pointing out the Doran's ring on Jin once again. Definitely feels standard at this point. Jin has an AP ratio on his dancing grenades. Also helps him spam spells in lane to get the wave shoving. Plus, I feel like Jin is very much a caster type of AD carry. That's why you can go Avarice Blade on him early and get away with it. Also why I think Doran's ring can be a very good idea.
And we're actually going to get some counter jungling done here. Smithy does reach back into this mid lane. Huhi already out, though. Omar in danger of getting chased away, but they cannot see him right now. He's going to take the blast gun after safety. And by safety, that's bottom lane. Maybe a dive being set up here, although he's going to hit the recall button right now.
Yeah, looking at the goal between junglers, as we mentioned, Smithy went for many more ganks. Only 100 up on Omar God. So both these guys will be able to go back to base and buy a Bomby Cinder if they so choose.
We're both actually roaming right now. Cinder was the pick for Omar, but holding that thought as Darshan could be in a spot of bother. Flame gonna stun him already. Now I think Darshan knows too late. Pobelter here can repose, but the taunt's gonna be their first blood on the rush. No! Oh. Darshan able to take down Flame for first blood.
That's the type of outplay you want to see on the Fiora. Riposting gives him just enough damage soak to get this done. Let's watch it. Flame goes for the stun early before the riposte, but that immediately takes turret aggro. And now Pobelter is trying to walk over, get the taunt into the auto. The vital proc was also pretty critical there, but he gets the slow onto him right there. The turret finishes off. Then he still is able to flash away before Pobelter can chain with the Q. Pobelter wanted his Justice Punch to hit first. I think he could have queued during the taunt to get the kill, but Darshan able to flash away.
Yeah, it might have just been a little too early, but regardless of Immortals messing up or not, Darshan with a bit of an outplay, able to grab first blood for himself in a very tricky situation. Does TP back to lane. Flame will actually walk back, so a little bit of a win there, but Darshan going to play catch up on CS, and that extra gold helps so much in a matchup where who's getting pressured.
Yeah, the Fiora-Renekton matchup, while we usually see it go to Renekton, is a very swingy one because they're kind of stat checking each other at a certain point. Talking about that TP advantage, though.
Great grab from Apro. Cody actually already getting the spears built in. Ole going to try and hook him around, but Omar's here to turn this around. 3v2 does feel very unfair. Ole is going to get knocked up there. The root's not enough. It actually hits Omar. Ole still running out of the way, but the Ren there from Styx, they able to grab the kill. Cody trying to turn something around here in a 1v3.
What?
Flashes in, gets body slammed, and dies instantly.
Cody, son, what are you doing at the end of that one? Stixay still had heal for the final play. Cody gives over the second part of the double kill as a lot went wrong there for Mortals. Pobelter canceled his teleport before the gank had completely been turned around. We'll have to double check he canceled under his own volition rather than Huhi interrupting it. Yeah, so here we go. Hook starts, teleport comes in to save. Pobelter does cancel as he walks away, while Ole's still caught. Then he flashes while he's slowed, so Stixay can fall through. He gets a little bit low as the bouncing grenade falls to him, and Cody's son, bro, he's got heal. Easily picking up the double kill for Stixay. Uncharacteristic mistake there. And Pobelter didn't cancel it. It was the Huhi ultimate that picked it off. Yep. That's what made it look like he stepped back. Nice play there by Huhi and the whole CLG team.
Slick move there. Let's see if he's able to cancel that out. And yeah, bit of a head scratcher there for Cody's son. Didn't even have, like, it was reloaded. It was like, oh, maybe he's got a 4th shot. I'm like, nope, just reloading. Already with shot number 1.
He already hit him with the 4th shot.
All right. Well, 2 kills for Stixay on the bottom side. It's going to feel great. This is how I already built up. Rico was added in, and Flame going to try and get aggressive, but Darshan just able to back off, and barely 10 CS between them at this stage. Again, Darshan going to feel comfortable in the only real matchup where I think CLG are feeling a ton of pressure, because bot lane's now firmly in their favor, again, despite a small CS deficit in favor of Cody, and Smithy's going to have another miracle dive as Pobelter roaming up for Darshan, taunts him up. Justice Punch is good. Proposes there to block some of that early damage, but pops the ulti, now can't get out of the cataclysm. He already burnt the lunge. Flame able to take the kill.
Yeah, and even Cody's son tried to get in there with a deadly flourish down the stretch. They've actually abandoned that lane with the roam mid, but the Darshan kill presented itself while Xfinity was still in loop. A little greedy there by Darshan, trying to get a ward so he could play more aggressive in lane. Ends up dying before he even gets there.
Flick smite from Xfinity also, taking that big raptor away from Omar. Omar didn't have his smite, so tough to contest. CLG, I think, up 1,000 gold or so. Will be happy with kind of the kills that have been gifted over, I'd say. Uma with a nice play in bot lane to get the first one, and I think Cody may have been dead still in that situation, but probably means you shouldn't lose your flash if you think you're gonna die.
Definitely not. I think you gotta back away. But I want to point out the Ninja Tabi by Stixay. I think this is the right buy. If you remember, the last time lethality builds were in, Ninja Tabi became a massive buy because they actually reduce the damage from a lethality user by 20 to 30%. And even if the auto attack damage passive went from 12% to 10%, you still get the same armor. Lethality is all about taking you as close to 0 as possible, and Ninja Tabi prevent that from happening. Really like it against Jhin, and I'm surprised more people haven't switched back to it since it was so recently that we had the last lethality.
Yep, you can see 16 Afro just feeling so much comfort now. Ninja Tabi certainly helping out there. Looks like that Drake will be a mountain, but teams aren't looking at it just yet. Still pretty even. CLG gold lead has kind of shrunk a little bit. Not quite the 1,000 that it was before, but they've got pressure in their lanes. Darshan losing pretty heavily in CS is maybe bad news there, but he knows he'll catch up eventually. See if CLG want to try and pressure this bot so that they're winning, or try and salvage some of Darshan's early lane. They are going to start the Drake briefly, but back up as Immortals, kind of showing they already have vision.
Yeah, and Flame really starting to take control of that top lane, just standing in front of the wave and maybe looking to do something here. That's why Huhi's trying to relieve the pressure in that top lane by cheating towards it as Talia.
Well, Belter again can also leave, but TP not up for now. And both of these champions are pretty low global ranges on level 1 ultis, so gonna want to try and grab that XP. Oh my god, back down to the bottom lane. His last visit was here, his next one will be as well. Huhi also going to interrupt Pobelter, actually also trying to cut off here, so maybe IMT tipped off to the play here in the bottom lane, but Omar flashed ulti after that body slam real nice, but Cody takes the lantern out. Ole flashed a bit late, but still enough to get Jhin out of the way.
Meanwhile, another fight's happening.
Oh, that Pobelter going to go down to Huhi, cut off again as Afro was also there. The wall not quite going to grab Afro, but Huhi's actually going to go over and put the wall down as Omar going to get another flash as Smithy forced to get out from under the body slam.
Yeah, strange play there as both junglers had to make a choice to take the fight in the bot lane or in the mid lane. Omar chooses bot lane. Xmithy actually chose the river, and they still lose that one. So now they're thinking about pressuring this. Technically, both top laners do have teleport and could join if a fight erupts.
Darshan actually in a better position because he has recalled, but you have to walk back to the lane. Ole comes back in towards those rocks by Huhi, but looks like this seed is going to get shut down for a little while longer. Flash hook from Afro does not connect on a Cody.
Oh, they tried. The only team I've seen do that in competitive was Afro with double lift. Stixay and Afro missed the hook. The play there is you hook with Blitz as you ult with Kalista to pull him even further back, but they missed that one near highlight moment. And Huhi just destroys Pobelter. Flash for flash as well. And then Xmithy can't help out that much. 3 people in the brush.
Afro killed him off, hooking is there. Ole still going to get chased down, hook gonna land. Great prediction on the jump. Ole going to move back in, but I think he may be too far forward. TP from IMT coming in, but is it not enough? They actually do arrive in time. It's the double. There's the taunt in onto Afro. That's the kill for Flame as Stixay barely escaping that last Jhin shot.
Afro not locked in on Blitz yet, missing a few crucial hooks. Also, Flame teleported away from his winning lane to make that play happen, so what more can they get? Because Darshan kind of gets back in the laning phase for that one.
Gonna need something here, looking for bot tower right now. Flame stays actually also, so probably gonna just be a trade here as Darshan continues to work that top lane. But Darshan actually kind of far ahead in the race.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like 3 people, it's a little bit better than 1.
Absolutely, I think this means first charge for Immortals, as long as they stick to it.
See if it's close. Minion's still there, yeah, Darshan has to wait for his wave.
Darshan's not even gonna get it. Because Ole did the early recall to get back up here.
Heads up play there from Ole. Probably not in danger of getting drove. Huhi being here maybe changes that equation. Bot side though, Afro landing up another hook. It's Smithy getting out of the way. Cody with a nice juke to the right. Afumu's blitz not quite calibrated just yet.
Everyone sticks around. Ole has no flash. Procs his Courage Shield, goes in, plays back instead of towards him. Tanks just enough damage for the rest of Immortals to pile in onto Afumu. And Ole gets back in time to stop Darshan from killing the top turret.
And looks like Flame is back to this turret as well, so he's going to continue that 1v1 where he still has so much pressure. Got a couple kills recently after he picked the bottom side, so Black Cleave is actually done for him, kind of accelerating his position in the matchup. Also, a Dust Blade done for Cody, so this is kind of the dangerous time for CLG, it feels like.
It is. No Blade of the Ruin King on Stixxay, at danger of losing multiple turrets, still trying to make plays. Gotta land those hooks.
All right, that hook lands, but the lantern is there. Afro's trying to step on it, but Pobelta's like, oh, can't actually click it. That feels bad. Pobelta not able to get out of that one. Hui grabbing the kill. Heads up play from CLG.
Just trying to make as much stuff that he can click on. Bunch of wards, bunch of champions. You're not getting that lantern, man. Pobelta gets denied.
Well, is there like some sort of trick there? Probably not. It's like auto attack ally or something.
Yeah, sometimes you can zoom in if you want to click it because you
That's
can't.
new tech.
You can't actually put something on the exact same spot the lantern is. That's something you used to be able to do, but no longer. So if you try and ward the lantern, the ward will actually get bumped. But champions still have collision radiuses, so if you put your champions in the right spot, you can prevent him and block him from making it through.
Well, so CLG going to get the Drake after that pick, so nice little roam. Merits a couple of objectives and some additional gold off that kill. Ole cancels Stixxay's back, but not for too much longer. And I imagine Blade of the Ruin King will now be finished as Flame. Still working this top lane here versus Darshan, but Darshan's getting there. Oh, Flame's, he's grumpy. Thinking about a tower dive, but Wave not there.
Flame was born in this lane. It's his territory. Trying to push Darshan back.
CS lead not traditional here for Flame, but still looking good. Approaching 30 as Xmithie going to roam up as well. Dual lane is here for CLG though. In fact, they're going to make a full-on swap with Darshan moving to that bottom side.
Hoping that Immortals can swap back up in time to save the turret, knowing that that turret is pretty low. But they still got to worry a little bit about just having control of the map. Darshan is clearing a wave way back in CLG territory, which does lower CLG's map pressure and buys some tempo for Immortals in which they're going to take the Rift Herald.
I think I love this play in general from Immortals, knowing how long these lanes are going to take. Flame sticks around for a little while longer. It does get his recall cancelled by Stixxay. He threw a spear into it, but tried the Rift Herald there. Should be able to get it nice and comfortably. And Cody and Ole were already mid lane, getting some pressure down there, kind of knowing they were already looking to transition off of that bottom lane. So Flame should make it down to bot relatively soon, and might even be a setup here in the top lane.
Yeah, notice Flame's Bramble Vest as well. This is an item that I specifically like into Fiora. And I like the fact they didn't rush it, because he's going to be able to bully Fiora with the Black Cleaver. And when Fiora is going to be coming back, it will be potentially from healing from the Vitals. The grievous wounds that are applied from the Bramble Vest cut Darshan's vital healing in half. If Flame wants to duel him. Got to be careful about Talia, though. That's why he doesn't want to immediately fight Darshan there.
Ooh, fight on the top side, though. Ole actually a little too far forward, perhaps, as Gallios is going to try and save him. Flash time, Momago grabs a knock-up of Pobelta. That's going to knock up on the other end. Still gets hooked back in. Three-man top lined up is there as Cody. Still trying to dish out the damage. Needs to reload, though, as Xmithie up far too late for this one. CLG is still looking. Another hook maybe for Afro as Hui's roamed up here. Pobelta going to get trapped as the Justice Punch is blocked by Omar. Does fall down, but the dump from Xmithie going to try and get a counter kill. Do manage to grab it on the other end, but now Darshan's going to move into the scene. And Flame, he's going down. Cody not going to get that last little snipe. And CLG with a big team fight win.
Yeah, looks like Afumu's starting to get locked in a little bit on the blitz. A couple of crucial hooks, and Hui roams up big time. Immortals overcommit at the end of that fight to secure the kill onto Stixxay, and kind of just like that, Immortals was in control of the game, but now CLG up 9 kills to 4 with the turret advantage.
Oops, Darshan, little too far forward, played back, proposed is good, stuns up on Ole. Cody still chasing, does have his flash, but a little more conservative this time around.
Yeah, gonna watch this one more time. Waiting for the play. Stixxay shows early, gets Ole to throw out the hook. Afumu just walks up to Ole to get the knockup. This also means that when Omar Guard finishes the kill, Afro gets to pull Pobelta back, and that's what traps him in this fight. This then buys some time for Talia to make his way up, or Hui rather. So he puts the ground down on the X-Smithy, makes him take a bunch of damage. And notice when Flame teleports in, he's only at half health because he's been fighting with Fiora that whole time. Flame then falls pretty quickly, so a 4 TP from Flame there, and 4 kills to 2 over to CLG in the extended fight.
Yep, took the turret there as well, so a huge windfall for CLG, who are now up actually 3,000 gold after that exchange, which is pretty massive given that the game was even, if not slightly ahead there for Immortals, who his CS lead. Some of that here had a big impact in a lot of these side lane plays. 4-0 and 1 as Afro another hook lands. Galio ultimate though, gonna try and lock them all up. Oh my god, could be the target, but Afro gonna double knock up after the Fates call. Stixxay, a bit of render. Ole, Pobalta with a big taunt again, but Xfinity gonna try and trap them all in. Cody can't really fire into it though, and Stixxay is now happy to leap forward and take down the next few kills. Pobalta is gonna die. Huhi cuts him off with the wall as Flame. Able to get a pick up there onto Afro. Cody still trying to snipe them, but Stixxay gonna hop out of that area. Huhi walks around as well. I know IMT still cut off CLG. They're going to try and get those last few kills there. Huhi dominating, takes down Flame. Another 4 kills and 2 dead once again for CLG.
And we're really starting to see Immortals' low damage team composition work against them. Watching Huhi's positioning in that fight just showed how little he cares about Immortals' damage. Look at where Huhi is here. Yes, they have a numbers advantage, but he just walks straight up to everyone. He's in the middle of the team, spamming his threaded volleys. Sure, the taunt lands. Sure, the Cataclysm lands. Hui's fine. He flashes back. Stixxay's able to stack about 7,000 spears into Pobelta before taking him down. CLG in a lot of control right now with the Taliyah and Kalista doing work against these tanks.
And despite all the early lane pressure, looks like Jin definitely showing some of those weaknesses here. As kick from Omar kind of right at that, as Rift Tower has to be channeled. He's about to run out.
And we got a bunch of big health pools against Immortals. We got a Blade of the Ruin King and Leandry's Torment by CLG. They've already built their tank shredding items for that 6,000 gold lead. If CLG keeps this up, if they don't get caught by too many Wombo combo initiations, I think we'd be on our way to a game 3.
Well, Rift Tower is going to be a tragedy. Does get rendered down by Stixxay. More than enough CC for CLG as again, IMT just kind of had to burn that cooldown. Huhi going to force a TP and Flame out of the lane. Doing so much work on this Taliyah, just an immense amount of damage. Despite tanking a couple turret shots, Leandry's not helping there at all. IMT going to get a trade-ish on the top side there, taking the turret, but Afro
all alone.
Pressured in, and now Pobelta 1v5. Not getting out of this one. Oh my god, this time with the kill.
Afro takes it to a few turret shots on the way out, but doesn't really care about it, as everyone on Immortals was off recalling.
We'll protect the bush, so Darshan makes it back safely. Turret did stay up for Immortals, though they got the outer, but Tier 2 was not taken in trade for CLG, so a small win there as IMT at least get gold back to themselves, but these turrets won't take too long for CLG to really get, especially as Darshan develops even more pressure now that Fiora is starting to scale. And unfortunately for IMT, Fiora is the least of their current problems.
Yeah, but it'll be on the short list of late game problems if it gets there, which is always the issue against Fiora here. But the fact that they haven't gotten a huge advantage for Flame early, but mainly it's the fact that Huhi has gotten so big on this Taliyah. Immortals could have drafted Syndra in place of that Galio for more standard team composition, but instead opted for this all-in strategy. What happens?
Well, Afro looks for a hook is what happens. Pobelta, he's the target, but somehow not big enough of a hitbox to get grabbed there by Afro. Just out of range, so good awareness there from Pobelta. But I spell Gauntlet on the way next for Galio, who's showing how tanky he isn't right now.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see a Frozen Heart off the Galio second, but that's also when you have a little bit more damage in your team. I mean, I'm so often seeing, even if you're going to do something like Galio J4, it's a J4 top lane and he's building Titanic Hydra and Black Cleaver. Or you have not Jin as your AD carry for more sustained damage.
Well,
here we go though.
Right in trying to make the play happen. Huhi is going to be the target. They need to try and shut down this Taliyah. Finally goes down. As Cody's still firing shots away. Flame is going to die to Darshan. Is able to shred that through, but Stixxay's so low. Darshan, they're going to save the back end of the fight. Cody leaping in the hook lands for Ole, but Darshan, he actually got a triple kill in and amongst the mess. Omar, a great double stun as Darshan's going to try and shut the rest of it down. Ole wants to kill Afro's going to hook him up. Darshan needs a little bit more riposte in there. Does take it down. That's a Unofficial Quadra. There's the ace for CLG. They'll take it no matter how it happens.
Yeah, unofficial Quadra, official ace for CLG. Even when Immortals seemingly get the damage on most of the threats, they one-shot Huhi, they take Stixxay super low. Fior is still there, man.
Unlucky.
5-1-3 now on Darshan. Tough laning phase, but he has arrived.
Yep, and it's kind of the problem here. CLG has a defensive advantage in the early game. Pretty smooth mid-game and some insurance in Darshan. This was about as good as you could ask for IMT.
Yeah, I love the initiation from Pobelter, although, sorry, from Xmithy. I think Pobelter point-blank ulted just for the knock-up. I don't know how necessary that was. But anyway, Stixxay then also is taken pretty low. Cody Sun going all the way into the back line. It's just Darshan they have to worry about. And they did a nice job getting some damage back onto Darshan here, nearly killing him there with the deadly flourish. Hook, though, from Afro secures that final kill. And Omar God having a quietly solid Gragas game here after being subbed in for Dardark.
Making all the right plays, hitting every single flash body slam at some pretty ridiculous angles at times, and quietly 3-1-13. 16 of 19 kill participations for the man. He is certainly quietly overachieving here in this one. As Pobelter grabs his blue buff, but IMT, it's about all their small victories at this point. 5,500 gold down, 3 items outdone for Huhi. Last Whisper finished for Stixxay. And Fiora is also starting to get a few more items.
Yeah.
I was worried enough with just those 2 carries. Now there's a third on the way.
Yeah, the more clumped up that Immortals can make the team fights, the better. And Cody Sun can actually do a lot with his lethality build because it's not like he's up against tanks. So he can still get a lot of damage out in team fights if he's able to stay safe. Going to be an uphill battle for sure. CLG has the tools to get the initiations as well. I mean, looking at the Talisman of Ascension onto Afromu plus the Boots of Mobility, it's a very fast Blitzcrank who probably doesn't even have to rely on hitting hook.
Nope, the most reliable hook is the one you hit after your E. Afromu's just going to be running at them. I think it's Righteous Glory too, but I think that's probably too much movement speed.
A little overkill. You do hit pretty sharp diminishing returns on move speed. But even now, he's just zooming.
I mean,
without his talisman. The talisman is to help others keep up.
Yeah.
And he's fine on his own.
Actually, one of those things where, I mean, I think the coin overall has become such a strong item, but we don't talk about the passive that often. In this instance, that's actually one of its better uses, because Afro's going to be running in. Flame gets a stun there onto Darshan, a little early on the riposte, but lifesteal aplenty there for Darshan with his Ravenous Hydra, and Flame's just kind of like, I can keep you here, but I probably can't do much else than that.
Yeah, and if he does teleport in, Darshan won't be able to interrupt it, but he will be able to take him pretty low. Stixxay pretty low here. Off the Baron. Curtain call just to push him off.
You need to lifesteal it up, but there's a wave to meet in mid lane as IMT rushing back down. Fury down to the bottom side. A long wall here is Flame. Yeah. Gonna get cut off. No, actually makes it over. And now the TP's down, but Flame already dead to Huhi. Now the hero's gonna come out and Pobelter's like, oh, what do I do? 1v2. Omar gonna find Xmithy. Hook's gonna miss.
This is crucial though. Fight bottom side with Pobelter and Cody. He might clean up.
Cody actually roamed down there. Pobelter able to buy enough
He's got red buff.
Needs a few more autos. Does have one. Slows massive there as he speeds up from the wall. Flash in auto W. Beautiful play from Cody.
Cody does exactly what he needs to do right there. Gets the move speed and the first shot for the 99% Duskblade slow. Then also knows to flash forward so Darshan can't make it to the blast cone. Turning around COD's bottom lane play. And then also the rest of the team avoiding the initiation. Another little bit of avoidance. Now they go on to Omar.
Hook in the root, double play's gonna
Galio can ult in.
Afro.
Gotta go fast.
Oh, he needs to flash out of the way. There's the ultimate from Galio. Traps him with the Galio, goes with the double knocker, but Ole falling down to Afro. Taunt lands in. They need to kill Stixxay, but they don't quite have enough. So much they see, but Cody avoids the next knock up and then gets that kill. Roots it onto Afro. Cody again. It's gonna save the back end of the fight. Jin grabbing the double. Xmithy barely living in the Baron pit. Stixxay escapes, but just barely.
Cody Sun and a bunch of setup is what Immortals team composition has come down to here. Flame stalling as much as possible. Darshan and Huhi used a lot of resources to take him down, and then they want to get Pobelter too, but Cody Sun is recalled, and that's what catches CLG off guard right there. Deadly Flourish stun, Pobelter gets him, Huhi goes down. Big bouncing grenade lands on Darshan right at the end. Chases him down, flash, Q. Deadly Flourish for the kill, and then they continue the play, which is the impressive part. Ole baits around Baron, and Cody runs all the way back up to then use the Galio ult that they were unable to use before. Kind of pulling themselves back in this game, which felt lost.
Yeah.
Against a Fiora, Taliyah, Kalista that are all fed versus your team of tanks, but Cody's Sun doing a lot to pull this back.
And I mean, CLG still up 4,000 gold, and I don't know how large the windows will be back into this game for IMT, kind of giving some of that scaling. Hook from Afro is not going to help.
Oh,
Cancels the EQ. No, he actually Q's out of the way. Gets the E down before he can, but Huhi still going to chase that. Locket going to proc. IMT enough protection to save their jungler.
Yeah, how is he still alive? He does not. He just takes a bunch of damage there. You can see the very tanky J4 build coming through. Getting a bunch of shield from his W, since it does scale with max health right now, but another Baron setup play by CLG.
Smithy lances up, actually knock him onto Omar as the TP in from Flame. Knock back there, Huhi on the side, but he needs to avoid some of the CC. Sticks in, Afro are too low, so can't actually join this fight. Omar smites to try and buy some time, but the hook from Ollie is going to seal it. Flame able to take that kill.
And now you wonder if Immortals wants to force this fight. They know Stixxay and Afro are low. Darshan has TP. Darshan's probably going to have to teleport in.
Picked one out. It's actually Flame that Afro hooks, but he flash ulties back into the pit. They're still tanking it, but Huhi doing a lot of damage. Just both trying to reduce some of that. Smithy, he's the one that tries to initiate, and that means the Baron threat is off the table. Darshan flashing forward, looking for Flame to post in. Drock back there is a great shot from Hui's, maybe going to end the rest of the fight. IMT just get ripped to shreds as Pobelta the only one left, but he will die in very quick succession.
Picture-perfect riposte by Darshan in that fight, throwing the stun back at Immortals. In the past, Darshan has been criticized for teleporting in at the wrong moments on Fiora. That was absolutely the right one, because they could win the fight. Immortals had overextended themselves. They clean up the fight, and they get the Baron.
So they're able to help that secure. Huhi with a great wall to start it up, and IMT desperate to get into this pit.
Yeah, but they walled really early because the Baron was still at 9,000 health, and the first fight was actually pretty bad by CLG. Omar takes all the damage, and the team has to bail out. Look at Aframu and Stixxay's health bars. So this is why Immortals thinks they can turn it around, because they have 5 people at Baron. But we talked about low damage. They do not kill Baron quickly at all. Aframu hooks over, Flame runs ultimate, and then Darshan puts his teleport up. Huge seismic shove by Huhi, and then just watch Darshan in this fight. It's very tricky to enter a fight when they have all the CC, but he dashes in, ripostes as the knockup comes from Stixxay and Aframu, so they chained those stuns together. That then opens him up the small window he needs to proc and nut vitals and clean up the end of that fight.
CLG now with Baron and a monumental gold lead. 8,000. Ole going to hook Afro, but Afro's going to hook back in return, doesn't grab Cody. That was the target he was looking for, but CLG playing with a lot of pace as they move back down here to the bottom side.
Yeah, hoping to pull off the epic Kalista Blitz combo. 0 for 2, but
one day.
Give them points for trying.
Certainly do.
This is the trouble, though, for Immortals. We know they have such low damage. We know they need big setup 5v5 team fights. Darshan's got Baron minions in one wave. CLG has the rest of the Baron minions in the other wave. And they have Taliyah to collapse.
Death Dance as well for Darshan, so close to impossible to kill Fiora in any good amount of time for Flame. And turret's already starting to fall. CLG take the bottom tier 2. And Huhi is working on that mid turret as we speak. Flame, I mean, she's trying to clear waves and kind of keep Darshan off the turret, but sooner rather than later, Flame's going to lose it, and IMT going to have to come up with a play before CLG just take everything with this Baron buff. That's 2 more turrets down. All of a sudden, 6 turrets to 2 Immortals. Backs right against their turrets as they try and defend.
Yeah, they had that small window coming back into the game, but you wonder if they have been outscaled now by the 3 damage item Fiora in one lane, the 7 kill Kalista in the other, and the 7 kill Taliyah in mid. Everywhere they look, there are enemies.
Huhi and 6 actually have the exact scoreline right now, which is pretty rare. 7, 2, and 11. But certainly looking good. That's going to be a hook, landing onto Pobelta, who taunts it up, but just buying some time for the rest of the siege. Wall cuts 2 people up from IMT. It's their dual lane that's currently being shot out. And again, IMT trying to find some angles, but don't forget Darshan is still here in the top lane.
Waiting for the minions. CLG going to want to finish off this turret right here. Will Immortals fight? Here we go.
Smithy gets in onto Hui here. Galio ultimate's up pretty good. Gets the knockup, grabs it. Hui almost about to go down, but the turret's falling in the top side. Afro getting low as IMT continue to fight, but they just don't have enough. Cody gets out to try and snipe 6A with these ultimates, but he's going to hop away. The last bullet is going to connect, but still too much protection as Omar barely going to live. Rends down Pobelta as 6A grabs that kill. He gets the shutdown as well onto Jin as Omar going to grab that. That's 4 kills for nothing in Flame. He had to do with Fiora and just couldn't do it.
Stixxay just gets to keep stacking up Ren. The longer the fight goes, the more damage Callista can rend you for. That's probably the game.
Looks like it as the Nexus starts are going to be objective coming up. There's one already done. Dashan got a lot of work done in the top side just by himself, but CLG will open up the Nexus and force a third and final game.
Yeah, Immortals died 30 times that game. That's what it took to take down their Nexus, and it was a tough one actually because Immortals was scrappy. And even though CLG jumped out to that massive early lead, there were some questionable moments where it looked like Immortals might come back in.